is Rabbi Cheryl Jacobs, and I am the chaplain for the Davie Police Department. Creator of all, source and shelter, grant a perfect rest under your shelter of peace to those who died in the 9/11 attacks on the United States. Remember the works of their hands and the message of their hearts. Grant their families peace and comfort for your name's sake. May we never forget those who died in service to others. May their dedication to protecting life serve as a shining lamp of love, and the works of their hands bring us all merit. Bless the souls of all who have died to save others, civilians and professionals, the trained and the untrained, in every age and in every land. Men and women who answered the call of honor, duty, and service. May their memories be sanctified with joy and love. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, a living blessing in our midst. May their memories be sanctified. May their souls be bound up. And we say, Amen.
Good day. Welcome to the September 11, 2020 Town of Davie Memorial Tribute. I'm your Mayor, Judy Paul. As we approach the 19th year since the tragic events of the September 11th attacks, it's imperative for us to take the time to reflect on loved ones lost and the impact this incident has had and will continue to have on our lives. September 11th, 2001 started like any other day for me. At the time, I was the social studies curriculum specialist for the Broward School Board, and I was conducting a teacher training on reading in the content area in the community room at the police department. There was a TV in the room for a presentation. So when one of the teachers said her husband had just called and told her something terrible had just happened, we turned on the TV, and our lives and our country were changed in an instant. We vacated the premises, and the police department went on lockdown. I spent the remainder of the day glued to the TV and prayed for all my friends and family who were in harm's way. While I did not personally know anyone in the buildings or on the planes, I felt sorrow for each family member who was hurting at that moment and would continue to hurt for many years to come. To everyone who lost someone on that fateful day, I grieve with you. To our first responders who sprang into action without thinking twice and continue to feel the emotional, physical, and psychological impacts to this day, we suffer with you. To our health workers who are on the front lines, working around the clock to assist, we thank you. For the volunteers and everyone who walked in the rubble to provide help in a time of need, we can never repay you. The attacks took away our sense of security. It broke families apart. It caused unimaginable hurt and sorrow to everyone far and wide. Nonetheless, we stood strong. We stood with New York City. We stood strong as a country and as a nation, refusing to let this break our spirit, and love for each other was unsurmountable. For at that moment, we all united as one, and at that moment, we showed the world unity is strength. In the face of tragedy, everyday men and women reacted in extraordinary ways to save and help others on September 11, 2001. For the 2,977 people we lost on that day, we will keep your memories and spirit alive in our hearts and our actions. We must never forget. May your souls rest in peace. May God bless you and your families. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Good morning. We are here today to remember and pay tribute to those who lost their lives on 9/11 and those who worked and risked their lives in the aftermath. Thousands died that day, and thousands more stepped forward to serve our country. It was an attack that sent shockwaves across the nation and around the world. But of course, the attacks of 9/11 were also deeply personal. One of the many people impacted is our captain and former New York City police officer, Yancey Isla, who is here to speak with us today. Captain Isla.
Tuesday, September 11, 2001. I was an eager rookie cop assigned to the 13th Precinct in Manhattan South. I was only a few blocks away from the World Trade Center for a meeting at One Police Plaza, which is NYPD's headquarters. 8:46 a.m. I had just parked my car and turned off the engine when I felt the ground shake. I heard a haunting, loud and echoing sound and looked straight ahead into my windshield. I saw a hole in the north tower of the World Trade Center. That image will forever be engraved in my head. There was smoke coming out of the building from the huge hole on the side, and debris falling everywhere. My immediate thought was, they bombed the towers again. But I heard it was a plane. Some were saying it was an accidental plane crash, but my gut told me different. My gut said, no way this is an accident. Since I was wearing business attire that day, I ran into headquarters to find a patrol uniform. 9:02 a.m. There I stood with a perfect unobstructed view as the second plane flew into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. There was no question then. This was an act of terrorism against our country. That day, I witnessed the darkest, most evil act a human being is capable of, and the devastating loss of life of so many innocent people. But on that day, I was also privileged to see the best that mankind had to offer: the first responders. So many heroes who did not hesitate and ran towards the danger. They gave up their lives trying to save so many innocent victims of this horrific attack. The long list of heroes lost that day, unfortunately, included Officer Maura Smith and Officer Bobby Fazio, who were assigned to my precinct. Unfortunately, for the last 19 years, we continue to lose first responders due to 9/11 related illnesses. Just 2 weeks ago, we lost one of my fellow Academy classmates, Detective Edward Gurchinsky. He lost his battle to cancer stemming from his work during the recovery efforts at Ground Zero. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to ask each and every one of you to promise to never forget, and to promise to teach your children to never forget. Teach them what those social media posts that say 9/11, never forget, truly mean. Because who can forget the screams from those thousands of people and the look on their faces during the 9/11 attacks? Who can forget the images of the desperate victims who chose to jump off the building rather than being burned alive? Who can forget the desperation of the family members looking to us for guidance and hope while praying that their loved ones were still alive? Who can forget the radio transmissions of my brothers and sisters screaming for help as the towers collapsed on them, and the feeling of powerlessness because we knew we could not get to them? I know I will never forget. Please do not forget that your law enforcement officers have proven to be there when you needed them most.
Good morning. My name is Julie Downey, and I'm the fire chief with Davie Fire Rescue. September 11th is a day of remembrance and reflection. Each of us remember where we were on that morning 19 years ago and how that day changed us forever. I remember exactly where I was on September 11th, 2001 at 8:46. I was on duty and a fellow firefighter said a plane crashed into the trade center. At first we all thought it was a small plane and it was an accident. But as we watched TV, we quickly realized it wasn't a small plane and it wasn't an accident. We then watched as another plane crashed into the South Tower at 9:03, another into the Pentagon at 9:37, and at 10:03, another crashed in the field at Stony Creek. We watched in horror as the South Tower collapsed at 9:59. When that happened, I knew many of the first responders on scene had died. 2,977 people perished that day, including 71 police officers and 343 firefighters. Today is a day to remember the lives lost, as well as the thousands of lives that were saved by the first responders. I am proud that despite these challenging times we are all in, the town still recognizes the importance of this day. As a career first responder and your fire chief, it will always be important to me that we never forget. Never forget the sacrifices made by those brave public servants who gave their all that tragic day. Never forget the pain and heartache their loved ones and friends face every day. And never forget the men and women who serve this great community, who are risking their lives every day to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the public we serve. Thank you for taking the time to never forget. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Heath Meyer, Battalion Chief with Davie Fire Rescue.
Good morning. I was there 9/11. I'm from New York. It's a day that I saw many people perish. I went to 21 firefighter funerals and several police officer funerals. Many people lost their lives that day. We should always remember, we should never forget. 19 years later, there are still people that are dying from injuries and symptoms of illnesses from 9/11. As a country, we should always remember this, and we should look at everything we have going on today and remember back to that point in time and be there for one another. This is a day I will never forget, and as a country, we should never forget. Thank you.